Good day, and welcome again to Learning Pharmacology with me, Nurse Myron. Today, we will be discussing anxiolytics and sedatives. For our full disclosure, I am not affiliated with any of the manufacturers of the drugs or other items mentioned in this lecture. The mention of such brand names are only in passing and for educational purposes only, and are not for commercial promotion. I have no actual or potential conflict of interest in relation to this presentation. So let us begin by briefly reviewing the psychopathology of anxiety. Anxiety is generally defined as an emotional state characterized by excessive feelings of worry, fear, and nervousness, often without a clear cause. Symptoms include feeling nervous, restless, or tense. The patient may feel as having a sense of danger, panic, or doom. Anxiety can also manifest in physical symptoms, including tachycardia, hyperventilation, and sweating. The patient may also have trembling and feeling weak or tired. Often, a person with anxiety has trouble concentrating or thinking clearly about anything other than the present worry. Meanwhile, insomnia is generally defined as the persistent difficulty with sleep initiation or maintenance, or achieving a good quality of sleep despite having the adequate opportunity. Symptoms may present as nighttime sleep disturbances or other daytime impairments. Nighttime symptoms include difficulty falling asleep, where the patient usually experiences more than 30 minutes to initiate sleep, frequent nocturnal awakenings, early morning awakening with inability to return to sleep, and non-restorative or poor quality of sleep despite sufficient time in bed. Meanwhile, daytime symptoms often include fatigue or low energy, increased risk for errors or accidents, daytime sleepiness, impaired concentration, memory, performance or decision making, and mood disturbances such as irritability, anxiety, or depression. To better understand these conditions, we must first discuss the role of gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA, in the central nervous system. GABA is a major inhibitory neurotransmitter that is known as a calming agent. It reduces anxiety, stress, and fear by blocking specific signals in the brain. When it reaches and binds to specific receptors located on a neuron, it reduces the activity level and slows down neurotransmission. It makes the neuron to fire less likely the action potential. There are many GABA receptors. For our discussion on pharmacology, we are simply going to focus on the receptor known as GABA A. These receptors are the main targets of most anxiolytic and sedative drugs. Likewise, these receptors are usually made of 5 subunit proteins labeled with the Greek letters alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Each GABA A receptor depends on which subunit it contains. As an example, GABA A receptors containing alpha 1 subunits are involved in sleep. Those that contain alpha 2 and alpha 3 are related to anxiety. GABA A receptors are present in high concentration in the limbic system, and the amygdala is one part of this limbic system. It contains many neurons that use GABA to control feelings of fear and anxiety. Excitatory neurons in the amygdala rapidly fire and send excitatory signals to other areas of the brain. Such rapid firing often leads to feelings of panic or fear, while inhibition of these emotions is also regulated by the amygdala through the release of GABA. In essence, GABA has this sort of tranquilizing and calming effect on the emotions of the person. GABA A receptors has sites where certain chemicals bind. Three groups of chemicals that can bind to GABA A receptors include benzodiazepines, barbiturates, and non-benzodiazepine hypnotics. First, we discuss your benzodiazepines. The chemical structure of benzodiazepines include a benzene ring fused to a diazepine ring. Hence the name benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepines bind at the region between the alpha and gamma subunits at the GABA A receptor. Benzodiazepines lead to an increased frequency of the channel opening. Hence, the influx of chloride ions at the postsynaptic cell ultimately makes it difficult for excitatory signals to cause an action potential. Benzodiazepines increase the effect of GABA. Therefore, excitatory signals caused by fear or stress are inhibited, resulting in decreased anxiety and a feeling of calmness. Benzodiazepines also produce mild muscle relaxation. These drugs are also indicated for alcohol withdrawal symptoms. When administered, these drugs act fast. Even those in tablet form given orally may have effects within just a few minutes. However, the effects of benzodiazepines are hard to come off. They are also highly addictive and are prone to abuse. Therefore, they must be used with caution. In addition, benzodiazepines should never be abruptly stopped. The physician will gradually taper down the dose and the frequency of these drugs to avoid withdrawal symptoms. To help you better recall the effects of benzodiazepines, just memorize this tip from me, Nurse Myron. Remember, diazepines will make you low and slow. And they will also make you sleep. Now going back, side effects of benzodiazepines include drowsiness, dizziness, decreased alertness, decreased concentration, and impairments of motor coordination. Benzodiazepines are contraindicated for patients with hypersensitivity, severe respiratory depression such as COPD or sleep apnea, pregnant or lactating women, patients with psychosis, severe hepatic insufficiency, myasthenia gravis, or acute narrow-angle glaucoma. They are also generally avoided in patients with a history of substance use disorder, severe mental illness, and not used alongside opioids because of the high risk of fatal overdose or dependence. And here is another of Nurse Myron's clue. Remember, the benzodiazepine antagonist flumazenil is the antidote given when there are cases of benzodiazepine overdose. Now we move forward to the examples of benzodiazepines. These include alprazolam, marketed under the brand name Xanor, the popular midazolam, sold under the brand name Dormicum, and triazolam, under the brand name Halcyon. Other benzodiazepines, this time ending with zepams, include lorazepam, popularly sold under the brand name Ativan, clonazepam, known as Rivotril, and perhaps one of the most popular benzodiazepines, diazepam, marketed as Valium. Nursing considerations in taking benzodiazepines include administering these drugs at hours of sleep. Likewise, patients taking these drugs should not drive or operate heavy machinery. To ensure compliance, patients should not skip doses. Also, the doctor will usually prescribe to taper off and decrease the dose slowly. Lastly, patients taking benzodiazepines are not allowed to drink alcoholic products. The next drug that we will be discussing after your benzodiazepines are your barbiturates. Barbiturates are sedative hypnotic drugs that depress the central nervous system by increasing GABA activity. The parent structure of all barbiturates is barbituric acid. These drugs act by binding to GABA A receptors at the alpha or beta subunits. Barbiturates are indicated for the treatment and control of seizures, insomnia, and acute anxiety. Barbiturates enhance the effect of GABA at the GABA A receptors, similar to benzodiazepines. But unlike benzodiazepines, barbiturates increase the opening frequency of the channel. It may be described that these drugs hold open the ion channel for longer periods. Barbiturates have the capacity to decrease the excitatory activity of acetylcholine and glutamate. At higher doses, these drugs can also mimic GABA, thereby directly activating GABA receptors. This can have profound central nervous system depression. As a result, barbiturates have a narrow therapeutic index compared with benzodiazepines. The toxic dose is not much higher than the therapeutic dose. As such, barbiturates should be used with extreme caution, especially because they can cause addiction, comatose, and even death of the patient. Barbiturates are easy to remember because they all end with the suffix barbital. Examples include amobarbital, butabarbital, pentobarbital, and perhaps the most popular barbiturate of them all, phenobarbital, sold under the brand name Luminal. Side effects of barbiturates include lightheadedness, dizziness, sedation, memory and attention impairments. It is very important to note that even the smallest amount of barbiturate overdose can result in coma or death. This is because of the severe effects of barbiturates on respiratory depression. We now move to the next group of drugs that we will be discussing, the non-benzodiazepine hypnotics. These drugs are structurally different from benzodiazepines and barbiturates. However, they also act on the GABA A receptor by binding to the alpha 1 subunit. By binding to the said receptors, they trigger the chloride channel opening, resulting in sleepiness, but not so much on the anxiolytic effect. Examples of non-benzodiazepine GABA modulator drugs include zolpidem, marketed as Ambien or Zolpimist, Zaleplon, known under the brand name Zonata, Zopiclone, known as Imovane, and Ezopiclone, marketed as Lunesta. We also have other drugs that have some sedative effect but are not benzodiazepines, barbiturates, or GABA modulators. Most of these drugs are antihistamines with sometimes mild sedative effects. The classic example of antihistamine with this effect is diphenhydramine or Benadryl. Other drugs include promethazine, sold as Phenergan, hydroxyzine, known as Iterax, and the common antihistamine cetirizine, sold under the brand name Zyrtec and Allerkid. These drugs block receptors at the central nervous system, which are crucial in wakefulness and thus can produce some form of sedation. Side effects of these drugs include cognitive impairment, memory loss, daytime sedation, and some motor function impairments. The last drug that we will be discussing is buspirone. Formerly, it was marketed under the brand name Buspar. It is a prescription medication that was used to treat generalized anxiety disorder or to provide short-term relief of anxiety symptoms. However, it is not given for acute as needed use because typically buspirone takes about 2 to 4 weeks before it becomes effective. It is intended for long-term use. Buspirone is not a sedative, has no known withdrawal symptoms, does not cause tolerance or dependence, and is non-addictive. That is why it is generally considered as a safe drug. To easily remember, buspirone is like a bus, a long one, but you're sure to have a safe trip. It may have some side effects including some dizziness, headaches, and nausea, though typically it is not sedating and non-habit forming. That concludes our discussion on anxiolytics and sedatives. Thank you very much for listening and continue enjoying learning.